What is going on, guys? SteelTwins coming at you with another video and with our final 2022 Pittsburgh Steelers NFL mock draft number 6, the finale, right here, ladies and gentlemen. The NFL draft is just a few short days away. It's basically right around the corner. And I'll tell you what, I basically said it every mock draft. Dan has said basically every mock draft. I'm excited.
The time has flew. The time has flew, and the NFL draft is pretty much here. So we're going to get into our final 2022 Pittsburgh Steelers mock draft, man. As you guys can see in the title, it was obvious. You guys should already know who is going to be our pick in the first round in this one.
Yeah, well, so with the 20th pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Malik Willis, quarterback out of Liberty.
We all know the love affection that the Steelers have to this guy. It is the worst kept secret around the entire league.
I mean, all you got to do is look at this picture that we're going to show on the screen right now of Mike Tomlin smiling when Malik Willis made that outstanding play at his pro day. Like, when Mike Tomlin smiles like that, you know he's in love with that prospect. And Dan's right. It is the worst kept secret, probably throughout the entire NFL draft.
The biggest question, however, is will he actually be there at 20? That right there is the biggest question of this mock. That's the biggest question around the league. Will Malik Willis drop? Here's our explanation here. I strongly feel that the first quarterback off the board will be Kenny Pickett to the Carolina Panthers. Why? Because Matt Rule, the Panthers head coach, recruited Kenny Pickett to Temple when he was the Temple head coach until Pickett ultimately recruited back to Pittsburgh. So that love affection, that connection is still there in my opinion. And I feel strongly that Pickett is going to be a Carolina Panther at 6. The Falcons with the 8th overall pick. They could go quarterback, but they badly need receiver. It's honestly a must for them to go receiver. They have to go receiver at 8. They just have to.
I mean, they have nobody, so yeah.
You look at the Seahawks with the next pick at 9. They have Drew Lock, and they just resigned Geno Smith to a year extension. They could have those two battle out, and they could just run with them for this year and potentially, quote-unquote, tank and then go after one of the top quarterbacks next year. That's what I could see happening, and they could go corner, they could go linebacker, they could go any other position at 9 other than quarterback. I could totally see that. And then if you look at any other team after them, maybe the Saints, since they have 2 picks now. They're probably going to go receiver, definitely offensive tackle in my opinion. They could go quarterback.
I mean, with what they traded with the Philadelphia Eagles, I would have to imagine one of their picks, whether it's 16 or 19, the pick before the Steelers, one pick's got to be quarterback, if you ask me.
Right. And outside of that, I don't see any other team potentially trading up. I could definitely see the Steelers trading up for Malik Willis. In fact, I'm certain that they're absolutely going to have an offer on the table for some team. That could be the Falcons. That could be the Giants. That could be any team, man. I'm certain that they will have an offer on the table, but this may all be wishful thinking on my part. It probably is, if I'm going to be 100% honest with you. But I could totally see Malik Willis surprisingly, quote-unquote, falling to 20, where the Steelers get an absolute steal with that selection. And they absolutely run to the podium with this guy. Malik Willis, man. And then you secure your future franchise. You secure the next quarterback for your team for 10-plus years. And Malik Willis. I feel like Malik Willis has the highest ceiling of any quarterback in this draft class. He is undoubtedly my number 1 quarterback this draft class. Again, the love affection between him and Mike Tomlin and the Steelers front office and the Steelers organization altogether is no secret. It's the worst kept secret around the league. And Malik Willis is just a dynamic fucking football player. He is strong, he's mobile, he's fast, he's hard to bring down. He absolutely extends plays with his feet. He can extend drives with his feet.
Oh, dude, when you watch his play on the field, when you watch his tape, you can tell throughout all the quarterback prospects in this year's draft class, he has the most upside.
The most upside, undoubtedly.
But at the same time, he probably is the most raw as well.
And this can be said for every quarterback. All of them are projects. Malik Willis is absolutely a project.
But with what you look at what the Steelers did in free agency and who they got a quarterback with Mitchell Trubisky, who as of now is a bridge quarterback, that bodes well for the Steelers if they were to get Malik Willis.
Malik Willis would sit his entire rookie year.
Exactly. He can sit, he can learn, he can marinate, he can develop, and then when the time is right, if Trubisky doesn't bode well for the Steelers this upcoming season, or if they want to work on Malik Willis next season to be the starting quarterback, then there you go.
You could have a camp battle next year between him and Trubisky. which I could totally see happening. Malik Willis is going to have to sit. No matter what team he's selected by, he would have to sit his entire rookie year. He is definitely a project, but he has absolute massive potential and incredible upside. The greatest of any quarterback this draft class. Malik Willis, man, if he is there at 20, undoubtedly he will be a Pittsburgh Steeler. The question is, will he be there?
It really all depends, but with this year's draft class, everyone's draft boards are completely different. And when it comes to the NFL draft day, it's completely unpredictable.
Right. And what I just explained to you guys, I could totally see that going down. Again, that might just be wishful thinking on my part, but
when it comes to the NFL draft, everything's a possibility.
Everything.
And that's the mindset that me and Danny are going to go with for this mock draft. So Malik Willis with the 20th overall pick, I think that's a steal.
I think that's an absolute steal, man. You get this guy's potential, the way he's just able to work on the field with his arm, with his mobility, with his strength, with his ability to extend plays in the pocket and escape the pocket and still make magic. Man, we're talking about potentially the next great Steelers quarterback.
And that's something that the Steelers and Mike Tomlin have been very vocal about all offseason.
Very vocal about. And again, I want to put this out there. I definitely see the Steelers going quarterback at 20 just because of everything they have done all offseason between free agency, pro days, pre-draft visits, taking people out to dinner. All signs point to them going quarterback. Now, listen, I'm not the biggest fan of going quarterback at 20. I'm not. Again, I'd rather go receiver. I'd rather go D-line. I'd probably rather go safety if we don't have a safety by this time, a starting strong safety. But I'm not going to let all that wishing of myself blind me from the fact that they will probably go quarterback, which is why we go quarterback here. And if Malik Willis were to drop, he's definitely 100% being a Steeler.
Now with the second-round pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the 52nd overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Sky Moore, wide receiver out of Western Michigan.
This is my guy this year. Out of every player this entire draft and every player coming into the draft, this is my guy. This is my dude, man. Sky Moore. I don't know if he's actually going to be there. I could absolutely see him sneaking into the late first. That's how talented this guy is. But man,
with how stacked the wide receiver group is this year, though, with how deep it is, anybody could actually fall. Anybody could be taken before, the bigger names. And Sky Moore could be one of those names. But if he were to fall to the 52nd pick, I can see him being a Pittsburgh Steeler.
This guy is for sure going to be high on the Steelers draft board for many reasons. One, he is a MAC receiver. The Steelers definitely love MAC receivers. He is a quarterback turned receiver, which the Steelers adored. You can just look at the history. Hines Ward, Antoine Randall, Antonio Brown are a few names I'm going to throw out there. He grew up in the Pittsburgh area, and he went to Shady Side Academy, the same high school where Dino Tomlin, Mike Tomlin's son, played football, where Sky Moore was the quarterback throwing to Dino Tomlin. And then he went to Western Michigan and played wide receiver for 3 years and is already this talented with a lot more to develop, which is the scary part about this guy. He's fast. He is a phenomenal and perfect slot replacement for Juju. He is tough. He has great hands, very good route running ability already at his stage. He's still incredibly young. I think all the signs point to him being a Pittsburgh Steeler if he's there with the second-round pick. It makes complete sense for Sky Moore to be a Steeler, man. I think there's no better fit for Sky Moore, if I'm going to be completely real with you. And, again, he's one of my guys this year.
Yeah, Sky Moore has the utmost talent, the utmost potential for sure in this very deep wide receiver class, like I said earlier. The guy is a freaking gem. And the guy's going to be a stellar player no matter where he goes. And hopefully it will be with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes.
And you know how the Steelers have success with day 2 selections. I think Sky Moore could absolutely be one of them.
And I'm very confident that they will go receiver round 2. It just feels the perfect slot because they're not going receiver round 1 because they didn't go to most of their pro days, and they don't value first-round receivers because of the success they've had with day 2, day 3 guys.
And even claiming, what's his name?
Miles Boykin.
Yeah, claiming him off waivers, that's still not going to stop the Steelers from getting a receiver in the second round.
Nor should it. So I think the second-round pick is definitely going to be a receiver. Hopefully that is Sky Moore. Now, with the third-round pick, the 84th overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Channing Tindall, linebacker out of Georgia. We still need a linebacker. We don't know what's up with Bush. We don't know what he's going to bring to the table this year. We don't know if the Steelers are going to exercise his fifth-year option. This could be his last year. This very well could be his last year, and we're going to need a development and a replacement if that is the case. We're going to need a backup plan. We got Miles Jack for at least 2-3 years, which is good. Hopefully longer than that. Hopefully he resurrects his career in Pittsburgh. We got Devin Bush potentially playing under his last year of his rookie contract. And if you look at the depth, we still got Spillane, Marcus Allen, Buddy Johnson. So same core guys we've had the last couple years, but Channing Tindall is a guy that is so explosive, man. He was in a lot of rotations with Quay Walker and, of course, Nakobe Dean, but still absolutely exploded every time he was on the field.
Yeah,
and blitz packages with his speed, stopping the run, and coverage. He is so fluid with the hips, man. He's probably one of the more fluid linebackers I've seen this draft class. And it is a deep linebacker class.
It really is. And Tindall, with him playing alongside Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean, I think his upside is just as big as the two guys I mentioned.
If not bigger, if I'm going to be real with you, man.
And that speed is really intriguing. He's so speedy. He's so fluid. He's aggressive. His coverage skills ain't too bad. He's definitely still going to need some polishing for sure.
But this guy would get his feet wet in special teams, obviously, before seeing time on the field.
And to work under linebackers coach like Brian Flores. I said that so many times with the linebackers that we had in previous mock drafts, but having a guy like Brian Flores to help develop and get these guys ready at the NFL level, I mean, that's just very, very exciting considering Brian Flores' resume as a linebackers coach.
And Tindall is a great talent, man. So I think everyone being there at the Georgia Pro Day and all that, they sent the house to the Georgia Pro Day. I mean, every team did. I mean, Georgia has so much talent coming out of that. Or coming into this draft class, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and Tindall was one of those guys that I think will be an absolute steal in the third round for any team, for sure. Now, with the fourth round pick, the fourth comp pick we got, with the 138th overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select D'Angelo Malone, edge out of Western Kentucky. We need an edge guy.
We need a key edge guy. Specifically a key edge depth piece because last year we basically played hot potato with everybody we had last year.
I mean, we'll just go through the names. You guys already know, but Melvin Ingram.
Quincy Roche. You had freaking the Jones guy.
Jameer Jones.
I keep thinking of Jarvis, but we all know how that turned out. You had Taco Charlton. You had Derek Tuska. I mean, the primary depth edge guy was just... It was basically anybody.
It was anybody. It could have been the mailman, for fuck's sake. We need a primary depth edge guy to rotate with Watt and Highsmith and still be able to bring that level of impact and speed and burst onto the field, and that's exactly what D'Angelo Malone brings. Now, he's a little skinny for an edge guy. He's about 240 maybe. He could be 250. That is the ideal weight for a guy like him. But with his speed, his burst, and his length, he can absolutely bring just a level of impact to the edge ability.
To the edge depth for sure.
Because, I mean, outside of, Derek Tuska, who we still have, and Jannard Avery, I mean, our edge depth class right now on the roster is just not really good. It's not. In fact, it's full of practice squad guys. We're going to need a primary edge piece. And I think that's what Brandon Hunt is looking at, who is our pro scouting coordinator, and probably could be our next GM after Colbert leaves after this draft class. And he was also present at the Western Kentucky Pro Day. So I think he had his eyes on Malone for sure, and we're going to need an edge guy. I think Malone fits the bill perfectly.
Oh, he definitely does, and someone to definitely make up for what the Steelers did last year by getting rid of Quincy Roche, who we drafted in the 6th round last year.
Right.
Now having a key edge piece, I think they make up and get a guy potentially in the 4th round. And D'Angelo Malone, I think he can be a key edge depth piece behind T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith.
Absolutely, as well as getting his feet wet on special teams, man. He's just an intriguing and an intelligent football player with speed, burst, length, power. He can work in the pass rush, obviously, and the rushing attack very, very prominently. I think he'd be a great pick in the 4th round. Now, at the 208th pick that we got via the Chiefs, 208th overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Kailyn Barnes, defensive back out of Baylor. We're going to need corner, specifically depth, and we're going to need some competition for camp, specifically for a guy like Justin Lane. Because if you look at our corner core right now, we have, of course, the starters, Levi Wallace, Akello Witherspoon, and Cam Sutton. Then you got Norwood / Millette as the dime / nickel depth piece. Then you have Justin Lane. Then you have James Pierre. Justin Lane's coming in the last year of his rookie contract, and he's nothing more than a special teams guy.
Or a bench warmer at this point.
Pretty much. So we're going to need more competition in the corner room for camp, but someone that can push Justin Lane to that limit. I think Kailyn Barnes absolutely brings that, get his feet wet on special teams, and one of the main intriguing parts of that is his speed.
Yeah, at the Combine, he ran an official 4.23. He was literally a cunt's hair short of at least tying John Ross's 40-yard dash record.
Right. Now, again, the 40-yard dash and the record of that isn't nothing good to have. It's not really anything worthy of noting or having in your trophy case. But I think that's an intriguing part to bringing to the special teams ability, which I think we've lacked for a little bit. Honestly, since Hayward Bay. Yeah, we haven't had that speedy special teams ace since Hayward Bay. And Barnes, man, he's a wide receiver turned corner, which the Steelers love. That's why they selected Just Lane in the third round a few years back, because he was a receiver turned corner, and that's exactly what Barnes is. But he's faster. He could be better as a tackler, but I think one of the things that absolutely intrigues the Steelers to a guy like Barnes, outside of him being a receiver turned corner and outside from the speed, is that our wide receiver coach, Friesman Jackson, was the wide receiver coach for Baylor from 2018 and 2019, which were Barnes' first 2 years at Baylor. So I think that connection could bring him to the Steel City in the 6th round.
But not only that, but his upside for sure at cornerback. He got into the starting lineup for Baylor in 2020, and he kept that role for the past 2 seasons, and he showed some glimpses for sure. He's obviously not the most polished. He's still very raw, but in the 6th round, he's obviously going to be a depth piece. He's not going to be a starter. He can definitely learn behind the starting cornerbacks. You can help develop him, get his feet wet in special teams. Just a nice depth piece at cornerback for sure for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think he could be another nice secondary development under Terrell Austin.
Yeah.
I like the potential this guy has as a depth piece, as a special teams ace, but potentially if he were to keep his development proper, maybe he sees time on the field.
Yeah, it's possible.
But because of his speed, because of the connection, he'd be a special team / depth guy for sure. Now, the 225th overall pick, the first 7th rounder that we have, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Connor Hayward, utility, Michigan State.
I mean, we've said several times, we 100% believe this guy will be a Pittsburgh Steeler just based because his brother, Cameron Hayward, is a Pittsburgh Steeler.
This guy is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. I think we can all agree on that. Whether that's as a 6th rounder, a 7th rounder, undrafted, this guy's going to be a Steeler at some point. I just feel strongly about it. He has the bloodline connections to Cam, but he is an absolute great weapon on offense that we can use.
And in the NFL level, I truly do believe, same here with Dan, that there is a role for him.
There is, and I think we can bring the most out of that. And honestly, the more I think about it, I can see Connor Hayward being our number 2 running back. Now, he's not speedy. He's not the fastest. He is undersized to play tight end, but he has played tight end before in college. So he's no stranger to that position or to the properties or to the responsibility of playing a position like that. So he can be used as a fullback, as a tight end. We could move him out towards the slot. We can move him back at running back as a running back too if we wanted to. This guy's an absolute utility, man. He's versatile. Anywhere you put him on the field, he just produces, man. And that's the Hayward bloodline.
And a guy of his size, of his versatility, is really intriguing, as well as his bloodline for sure.
But this guy just produces, man, and especially as a receiving weapon. He has some of the best receiving skills I've seen of a late round running back / tight end this draft class. So I think we can utilize him in that aspect for sure. So I think he'd be another reliable piece on the offense.
And to get his feet wet in special teams too.
Oh, definitely. Now, with the last pick in this mock, the 241st overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Neil Farrell Jr., defensive tackle out of LSU. We're going to need D-line depth. We're still going to need some more body, some more dependability because we still don't know what's up with Tuitt and Alualu's getting up there with his age. He's had 2 straight season-ending injuries, and he's probably coming into the last year of his NFL career. So we're going to need some more depth pieces. We're going to need some more bodies on that D-line just based on injuries and age. So Neil Farrell, man, his entire career in LSU, he was nothing more than a rotational piece before coming into a full starting role last year and absolutely stepped up. This guy is a gap filler. This guy is a run stuffer. He's your quintessential perfect rotational piece on the defensive line.
Yeah, he is no stranger to being a depth guy, to a rotational guy. But when he had his time to shine last year, he really showed a good bit of upside for sure with the LSU defensive line.
So I like that upside in him as a rotational piece. Maybe he continues to work, and maybe he's more than just a 7th round depth piece. But as of right now, man, he's just another body to fill, another guy to stop the run, which is his best aspect, is stopping the run on that D-line, which we seriously need.
And that's what the Steelers are definitely looking to do.
Right.
They fixed the run. Why not work on stopping the run? And Neil Farrell, I think he possesses that for sure. And him to obviously start off as depth, but could work his way into the starting lineup with a defensive line coach like Carl Dunbar.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I like it, man. But anyway, guys, that is our final 2022 Pittsburgh Steelers mock draft, man. Give us your guys' final mock drafts in the comments below. The NFL draft is pretty much here, man. It is pretty much here. It is one of my favorite times of the year. It is one of my favorite weeks of the year, not only because of the draft, but because during the draft, we normally go to Pittsburgh for the draft, which just makes that time of the year even more exciting for Rob and I.
Yeah.
But not only Rob and I, but also our boy, our buddy, our brother, Cold Steel, and our sister, Steel Blondie, man, who we will be in Pittsburgh with this upcoming week for the NFL draft. We will actually be live for night 1 and night 2 with Cold Steel, but we will also be live the night before with Cold Steel on his Odyssey channel. The link to that is in the description below, as well as in the end screen you guys are about to see shortly. Definitely go search it up. Definitely go link it up. Definitely go subscribe and follow that. We will be live the night before the NFL draft, before night 1 with Cold Steel, and we'll be live night 1 and 2 with Cold Steel. And we shall see who the next line of Pittsburgh Steelers will be. Who will be the pick at 20? Who will be the pick day 2? Who will be the picks day 3, man? I cannot wait. It's exciting. Kevin Colbert, man, you've had one hell of an offseason. You have one hell of a free agency period. Now let's go out with a bang. Let's finish it strong, man. Kevin Colbert, thank you for all you've done. Now let's go out real nicely with a hell of a draft, man.
Absolutely, brother. I cannot wait. The NFL draft is basically here, like we said many times in this video. But it basically is. I'm excited. I can't wait to get back to the beautiful city of Pittsburgh. I'm just pumped. I'm excited.
I'm excited, man. We'll see you guys live for the live streams, man. Definitely hope to see you guys there. Other than that, give us your guys' final mocks down below. The NFL draft is here. Pittsburgh, here we come. See you guys in the next one. Here we go, Steelers.
And like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace! Make Malik Willis a Pittsburgh Steeler, please, for the love of God.